Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we have a free patterns video. I'm going to be sharing 10 free knitting patterns for summer tops specifically. I've done a few of these for sewing patterns, and so I thought it would be a lot of fun to go scour the internet and find 10 free knitting patterns. Some of you are probably well underway into your summer knitting projects, but for those of you like myself who are just now starting to peruse the options for the summer season, then stick around and I will share 10 free, really good options for you. Before we get into the free patterns, I want to share with you something that I have recently discovered that I'm really excited about, and that is Glow High. I had never heard of them before, but they reached out to me and asked me if I would like to try their master classes. Now, this is a company that creates instructional videos or master classes on things like sewing, pattern making, creating really elevated couture looks, as well as, learning the basics of altering sewing patterns to adjust the fit, things like that. And so I, of course, said, yes, I would love to check it out. And I've been doing the Sew Ready pattern making masterclass. And I'm probably about halfway through the instructional videos for this course. And I've already learned so much. There's so much good information in here. I don't think that my end goal is to design sewing patterns, but what I'm really taking away from it is how to take, a flat two-dimensional sewing pattern and make adjustments to it to alter the 3D fit, to customize it to your own body measurements. And so, yeah, I'm learning a ton. I'm really enjoying it. And they very kindly gifted me the course, and they've also very kindly shared with me a discount code to share with you guys if you'd like to check them out. So I will put the GHF link in the description box, as well as the discount code. If you are interested in elevating your sewing skills, it's worth checking out. Okay, now for the free knitting patterns. I had to put my hair up, it's really hot today. The first pattern that I found in my perusal of the internet that I was really excited by is the Tip Top Tank. The Tip Top Tank is by Emily Boldwan. And it's a really sweet, really simple but stylish tank top with a deep V-neck, and it has the option to have a traditional tank strap or to have longer ties that tie at the shoulders, which is really sweet. This knitting pattern is meant for sport weight yarn and recommends US 4 and 3 needles. So I think this would be a great option for summer. Tip Top Tank size range goes from an extra small to an extra, extra large. It's knit from the bottom up, which allows you to work the stockinette round until you get to the top and then decide whether or not you want those tie straps or the straight straps with the V-neck. Yeah, and this looks like a pretty popular pattern on Ravelry. It seems that a lot of people have had success with it. So the first free summer knitting pattern is the Tip Top Tank. The second free knitting pattern is the Summer Secret Crop. This is a pattern by Jessie Made Designs. It's intended for fingering weight yarn, but it also says that you can use DK weight yarn if you want to have a thicker, more dense fabric. The size range for this one is an extra, extra small up to a 5XL, so a really inclusive size range. And it's also knit in the round bottom up, like the last one. That's one thing that I noticed was a common theme amongst the summer tanks, is that they're knit from the bottom up, which I thought was really interesting. And the straps can crisscross in the back, or they can be straight, or you can knit them longer and have a halter tie at the neck too. So a really versatile tank, and one that I think would be really great for the hotter seasons. It's interesting to me that so many of these tanks are knit bottom up, And then there's, some play, some variety with the strap options. I've only knit one tank before. I'm almost done knitting it, which is the camisole number 9 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. And that's a really classic sort of racerback style, but it's knit top down. And so it's interesting. So many of these tanks are bottom up. I think that that would be a really easy way to dive in to the stockinette and the round, a nice small lightweight project to carry around during the summer as well. So I'm excited to cast on a few of these tanks. Another tank top pattern for our third free pattern is the Streamline tank. This is by Alexandra Tavel, or Two of Wands on Instagram. And I really love the details on this one. It's meant for DK weight yarn. It goes from a size extra small up to a 4X, so another really inclusive pattern. It recommends a US 7 needle, so this is going to be a more open, more drapey fabric, which is great for the summertime. I just love the details at the center front, as well as the split on the side and the thicker straps. I think that this would be a really practical, really versatile tank. The last one that I mentioned has much skinnier straps, and it could even be an open back halter, so that one might be a little bit more difficult to wear a bra with. This one looks like you could really easily, so another great option for summer. Okay, number 4. Number 4, we have the Girly Knits bra top. This is a pattern by Lauren Riker, and this one was really intriguing to me as like a loungewear option. If you used a really soft yarn, something like a silk linen blend or something like that, this would be really comfortable to wear around the house during the summer when it's really hot. And I really like the cropped version. I think that this would be a really comfortable but elevated option for loungewear. And this one is actually a worsted weight gauge, so more of a dense fabric, which I suppose makes sense if you want to have a little bit of support and it's a closer fitted garment. So this one, a US 7 needle as well, and it says 2 to 300 yards of yarn, so a great scrap buster as well. The size range for this one goes from an extra small to a 2XL, so a little bit of a smaller size range. But again, I just really liked the ribbed bottom, and I like the cropped version for like a bralette that you could wear as loungewear, sure, but also underneath a big loose button-up shirt. I think that this would be a really successful and wearable project. Okay, number 5 on our free knitted tops pattern list. I was really drawn to this notched hem tank top. This is a pattern by Pearl Soho, and it's intended for fingering weight again, so a much lighter, drapier fabric created. The size range is quite small. It says size 34 to 46, so something to keep in mind. But it's knit in the round, and I really like the split hem detail on the sides, as well as the, kind of higher neckline and the wider straps. I think this would be a very wearable top and a little bit different than some of the others that I had seen. So I thought that that one was worth mentioning. The intended yarn for this pattern is a fingering weight linen. So again, really breathable, really drapey, lovely, soft summer top. Okay, I love this one. Number 6 is the Sarah top. The Sarah top on the Novita Knits website actually says that Sari Nordlem was the designer, which is cool. I'm not sure why it doesn't say that on Ravelry. But I really love this design. I love the V-neck and the button band that can be worn on the front or the back, making it fully reversible. This one is meant for DK weight yarn, and it says US size 6 needle, and it has a wool cotton blend recommended. So again, really naturally breathable and moisture wicking and perfect for when it's hot outside. And I love the thicker straps with that V-neck. It just looks like an incredibly classic, really flattering design, and I'm really excited about this one. I think this one might make it onto my personal makes list. Its size range for this pattern goes from extra small to extra extra large, It's also worked from the bottom up, and it has this really lovely texture. I'll see if I can find a picture that shows the texture a little bit better. But yeah, the Sarah top on Novita Knits, designed by Sari Nordland, definitely high on the list of summer tops that I would like to make. Number 7 is the Chicory Tank by Rachel Brockman. This is another one that immediately caught my eye. The details are so unique. It has lacework, it has an open ribbing, it has stripes. There's a lot going on, but I think in a small project like a tank top, that's a really good time to try new to you techniques. So if you haven't done lacework before, for example, this might be a really good project to kind of dip your toe into doing that for the first time. And it's meant for DK weight yarn. It has US 5 and 6 needles. This tank top also is knit from the bottom up. And I think the combination of the crop tank, which is kind of a modern silhouette, with a more delicate lacework paired together in the design, I think it works really well. And this is another one that I think is definitely worth making this summer. Number 8 on our free patterns list is Vest 23 by Deborah Doherty. I really like this one. It immediately jumped out to me. I know that the side button vest is kind of a popular design right now. I've seen a couple of different knitwear designers doing kind of pullover vests with buttons at the side, and this does have that feature, and it is free. So I wanted to include it. I really like the folded over neckband. Okay, the mic died. We're back. I was talking about Vest 23. So Vest 23 is meant for light fingering weight yarn. So the smallest needles so far on the list required. So a US needle size 1.52 and 3, so really tiny needles. So the yarn recommended is a silk or cotton, again, great for summer. It's also knit from the bottom up, so you have a lot of basic stockinette. There's some ribbing, it has a tubular knit edge, and also ribbed button bands that become the side panels. And I think this is just such a classic design. It looks really great worn on its own, as well as layered over a big button-up shirt when it starts to cool a little bit. But for the height of summer, what a beautiful, classic, elegant, breathable, and really, I think, on trend knitting pattern. So definitely one to check out. Okay, number 9 is the Panama Tank, which is a pattern by Rachel Brockman. This is another pattern that really stuck out to me as an elevated basic. It's got the classic tank top silhouette, but what really elevates it is this lovely texture that's built into the entirety of the pattern. So it's one that I think would work really well in a neutral, just as they have featured it in these product photos, but would also really sing in a bright color. The intended yarn weight for this pattern is a DK weight yarn, and the size range is from an extra small to a 5X. So again, a really great size range here. It's also knit from the bottom up in the round, as seems to be the theme today. And it has you split at the top to work the front and back flat and then join the straps. So it seems like a pretty straightforward construction. And I'm sure once you got the texture pattern down, it would be a really easy and enjoyable knitting process. So it recommends a US 5/6 needle, and also the yarn recommended is a cotton viscose linen blend, which would be really great for the summer season as well. Okay, last up, number 10 on our list of free summer top patterns. I really like this one. This is the Get in Line Knit Tank, which is a pattern by Yarnspirations. It also has a great size range at extra small to 5XL. It's meant for a DK weight yarn, US 4 needles, and it recommends a silk bamboo yarn, which would just be so lovely to wear. This one stood out to me again as an elevated basic. I absolutely love the cropped version here. I'm not sure that I would make the longer line, but as a summer top, I love the cropped version with the V-neck, and I believe it's sections of garter stitch broken up with these vertical lines to create a nice visual texture. That also means it's kind of a simple knit to do. Yeah, I really like the cropped version with the V-neck. I think it would be great on its own as a summer top, but also similar to a couple others, this would work really well as a layering piece. So this one is definitely high on my list of projects that I would like to cast on. I'm really inspired by the Get in Line tank. I have a couple of knitting projects, making sure that's on. I have, I think I have 3 knitting projects right now that are almost done. And when I get to the point where I'm about to wrap up all of my WIPs, all of my works in progress, that's when I start to peruse the internet for what's going to be my next cast on. So I hope that you have enjoyed today's video. I love doing these free pattern roundups because I always find patterns and pattern designers that are new to me. So hopefully a few of these were new to you as well. And hopefully you got some inspiration for what you might like to carry around and work on this summer. There are definitely a couple of these that are really high on my list. Also, I will be sure to put that link in the description box below for the GHF Masterclass videos. I think it's a really great resource, and the sheer amount of information that is included in the courses is really impressive for the cost. So if you are also a sewist as well as a knitter and you're looking to elevate your sewing skills, if you're interested in trying out altering patterns or drafting patterns, I think that this is a really great resource. So if you're interested, I will put that link in the description box below. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed today's video, please do consider hitting those like and subscribe buttons below. It really helps out my channel, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.